Time and time again, this balance team shows their incompetence and incapability to do their fucking jobs correctly. Balance is what caused us to have what we have now. For all you 6v6 enthusiasts, remember that the reason we have 6v6 is because they couldn't figure out how to balance double shield. Same thing with roll Q. The reason we have roll Q is because they couldn't figure out how to balance goats, so they just took the easy way out. And after this season 7 balance patch, I knew I had to make a video to vent my frustrations about this fucking dumbass balance team. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Also join the Discord, link to that will be in the description. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now everyone has been complaining that support is too busted, and what do? They buff Brig and give Iari a slap on the wrist. They don't nerf her pylon that doesn't go away after a certain period of time. You know, the thing that has insane range, plays the game for them, and has almost as much health as Tracer. They don't nerf the insane damage she does, they nerf her secondary healing. What makes her busted is that she can just throw down a pylon and heal and damage at the same time. The way to balance her would be to either A, nerf the pylon so she'd have to use her secondary healing, or B, nerf her damage so it wouldn't be a problem that she damages so much. It's just such a common occurrence where the balance team just doesn't address what's actually busted about the hero. Look at Mercy's damage boost. Everyone was crying about damage boost, and what do they nerf? They nerf her Guardian Angel cooldown. Look at Bab's Immort. Doesn't matter how much you nerf his self-healing, as long as he has that Immort, he will always be broken. Now this next one pisses me off so much because it just makes no sense, but everyone cries about Suzu, how it's broken, how it shouldn't be able to cleanse and have immortality. And what do they nerf? They nerf her TP and healing fire rate. Such a great change instead of actually addressing what's broken about her, which is her Suzu. And again, you keep nerfing Suzu, you know, nerf the cast time, nerf this, nerf that, but as long as it grants immortality, which is what people are complaining about, Kiri will always be a top pick, which she has been since her release. I wonder why. They nerfed Widow by taking away 25 HP, which by the way shouldn't have even been fucking added back, because if you remember in Overwatch 1 they took away her 25 health, and then when in Overwatch 2, when we have one less tank to dive her and one less tank to shield her off, we'll give her back to 25 HP, and then take 4 fucking seasons to realize that was such a stupid mistake. 175 health, 150 health, it doesn't matter as long as she has that insane long range one shot. By the way, the range nerf did nothing. She will always be broken. Raider, Widow isn't broken, you just have to go dive, bro. Yeatle, a top 500, been rank 1 ball main, has Widow ranked number 1 in his most broken heroes tier list. She is fundamentally a broken hero and not meant for the 5v5 format. It took them 4 seasons to nerf Soldier because they have this malpractice of just nerfing the wrong part of their kits. Bro, why can't this balance team just grow some balls? Why can't you just buff the fun heroes for a season? And yes, fun is subjective, but it is a fact that most tank players find Ryan fun, and most players in general find it fun when Ryan is in meta. So why is he at the bottom of the barrel? This is what I hate about this balance team, is that they release these patches that do absolutely nothing. Like 60% of this balance patch is just reverting what they did last season. No creativity, no change, no new flavor of the season. What did the devs say in the beginning of this game? That they want each season to feel unique. However, it feels anything but that because snipers and Orisa have been strong for so fucking long. Yes, I'm sure this nerf to Orisa by taking away 5% of her fortify will fix the problem. 5% fucking percent, bro. Oh my. Sojourn was sitting there ruining your game, and who do you chokeslam through a table? Who do you make unviable? Who's the one hero that gets dicked down time after time, even though he's probably one of the most fun heroes and has the highest skill floor? You can't tell me it's more healthy for your game to have boring ass snipers that can one-shot be meta over Genji. Matter of fact, that should give you more of a reason to buff Genji, because you can indirectly nerf snipers by buffing their counter. It's insane how Widow actually counters Genji. Widow counters the flanker. I remember back in 2020 when Genji got buffed, life was good. You know, I'd wake up, watch Samito, he'd be playing Genji, and it was such entertaining and engaging gameplay. More entertaining than any hit scan / sniper gameplay could ever be. And guess how long it lasted? 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks. And oh no, this wasn't just a revert. They made him worse than he was prior to the buffs. And it happened again in Overwatch 2, where in the beginning of the game, Genji was strong because of the DPS roll passive. So they nerfed him, but then they proceeded to nerf the roll passive, which is the thing that made him strong in the first place and gave him no compensation buffs. Compensation buffs. The thing they kept giving Sojourn, even though everyone was fucking tired of her bitch ass. It took them 4 seasons to finally bounce her because they kept just just giving her a slap on the wrist, and with every nerf, she got a compensation buff. I know I might be coming off as a salty Genji main, but just keep in mind I'm a support player. I don't even play DPS, and I also really fucking hate playing Ryan. But it is not rocket science that it's healthier for your game to have the fun heroes have their time in the spotlight rather than heroes like Orisa or Widow, arguably the two most boring heroes in the game, both to play and play against. Have them sit atop the food chain for months after months, seasons upon seasons. It doesn't even have to be Genji and Ryan. I just want you to be more aggressive with your fucking patches instead of giving us these minuscule ass patches, because when you finally address a hero that everyone's complaining about, when you actually address a busted hero, what do? You either A, give them a slap on the wrist, B, give them a compensation buff, or C, nerf the wrong fucking part of their kit. And I am getting sick and fucking tired of your bullshit. They get all the new heroes, they get all the broken characters, they get all this baby treatment. Why is the tank role that's supposed to be the titan of the team? You know, I saw a good analogy of this in the SBB podcast, where you want to be the striker, you want to be the one that scores goals, you want all the glory. Yet the Overwatch 2 equivalent to a striker, the role that's supposed to give you all the glory, makes you want to yourself. Same thing with DPS, it's a cosmetic role, and they haven't got a new hero since arguably Overwatch 1, because Sojourn was supposed to be an Overwatch 1 hero. But it's miserable to play because supports are way too strong with the amount of healing they do, invulnerability abilities, survivability, damage. Let's look at Mercy's movement. Everyone cries about Mercy's movement, that it's so broken. In my opinion, that's balanced because she can't shoot back, so she needs that high survivability. However, when you make heroes like Bap, Iari, and Kiri, who have high survivability, immortality abilities, and can put out more damage than half of the DPS cast, that is when we have a fucking problem, officer. Iari and Kiri's headshots do more damage than Genji's blade. Let me repeat that in case you think you misheard me. Iari and Kiri, two support heroes, do more damage with their headshots than a DPS hero's ultimate. I mean, just look at Ana. You can damage and heal, but you can't do both at the same time. What's busted about Iari is that she's basically Ashe with healing capabilities, and she could do both at the same time because of that brain dead pylon. Now, a lot of people wonder, why is support this broken? How did it get this way? If you remember back in the early seasons, everyone was crying about how support was underpowered, and I actually made a video about this 10 months ago saying that no, you're just bad, support is fucking amazing. You know, you had people like Stylosis saying the support should have all 3 passives. Support crybabies were crying how support felt like Dead by Daylight. Oh, I have one less tank, I can't survive. It is you fucks not knowing how to play your role that got us to where we're at today. Now listen, we all know tank, rock, paper, scissors, right? But support players don't realize that their role has as much as an impactful rock, paper, scissors aspect to it. Let me show you guys some examples. Let's look at this game. The enemy was running Diva Reaper. What do? I go Brig, because Brig is counter dive. However, most players will think Brig is bad because they don't realize she has a niche, and pick her against like Ryan or Hope comps that just completely counter her. They play her like a mini Reinhardt, not knowing that's not how you're supposed to play her. You're supposed to play her defensively. It doesn't work out, and then the support player cries about the hero not being good. The devs listen, and now we have a strong hero getting buffed for no reason. Tell me, the gameplay you're watching, does Brig need a buff? Because I am hard carrying, spawn trapping these lobbies in GM. The enemy has a hog. What do? I go Ana and shove my abilities at his fat ass. And what's funny about this game in particular, the enemy supports were saying tank diff, but if you look at my healing prevented at the end of the game, I had 2,000 healing prevented, and their supports didn't even think to go Kiri to cleanse their hog. Look at this guy right here. This clown had 22 deaths and 10,000 damage. This guy probably watched one too many unranked to GMs and probably thinks he just needs to damage. The damage of the support role is also a niche, and people don't fucking realize that you don't need it every game. Just like you don't need Brig every game. This guy is the epitome of you dumb fucks that always go, oh, it's support not healer, it's support not healer. The unranked to GM I watch tell me to do damage, so I gotta do damage. Raider, you're wrong. Now I know people are gonna be like, oh Raider, when I heal my team they don't do anything, that's why I have to do damage. And this final game is gonna prove that you could support your team to the best of your ability and they just won't perform. As I went Mercy for this guy and he went 20-17. In the beginning I went Mercy, then the enemy switched to Diva, so I went Brig, carried the game for a little bit, but then he switched to Zard. So then I switched back to Mercy and I pocketed my hit scan. So I say Mercy throughout the game and the guy ends up going 20-17, and despite him going 20-17, it was still really close. Way closer than if I would have been like, oh, let me just do damage and just leave my fucking DPS out to struggle so then we can fight a 4v5. Obviously, you are gonna playing games like this. But prior to this game, I was 7-0 in GM. I arguably should have been 8-0, but it took for me to get a DPS that went 20-17. And I am fine with losing a game like that because I know I did everything in my power to enable him. What my role is supposed to do. It's basic math. You have more of a chance to get better teammates because the enemy has 5 random factors and you have 4. And I say more of a chance to get better teammates because say you have a bad DPS and the enemy has an average DPS. If you go Mercy for your bad DPS, it now turns them into an average DPS and now they can compete. I remember when I made that video, support players were like, oh, you expect me to switch every game? But these are the same support players that cry when their tank doesn't switch because it's common knowledge. Everyone knows about the tank rock, paper, scissors. But for some reason, nobody seems to understand the support rock, paper, scissors. And it fucking annoys me because everyone just thinks, oh, I'm on support, I have to do damage. And it's your incapabilities of realizing this as to why supports are this overpowered because you didn't know how to play your role, cried about it, the devs listened, they buffed the supports for no reason, and now look what we have. We have support watch. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I fucking hate this balancing. They're so brained. I don't know how they still have a job. People wonder why I hate support players so much because if you just knew how to play your fucking role, we wouldn't be here right now. Anyways, if you agree with me, make sure to hit that like button. Again, join the Discord. Link to that will be in the description. Thank you guys for 50,000 subscribers. If you disagree, make sure to type in the comment section what exactly you disagree with. I love hearing your thoughts, even though most of them are brain dead. But yeah, peace guys. Have a good day, good night, whatever time it is where you live, and adios.